Hello and welcome back to Can You Survive Tides of War? We are moments away from starting up the very first tribal council of the game. Filing in shortly behind me, it's going to be the. Let's see. This is my signal. Let's see if they see it. I don't know if they're looking. Anyway, someone's going to go get the tribe for us. So Sagan will be filing in shortly to the tribal council area where they will be voting out the first player of the game. You're going to want to stick around because we're doing back-to-back tribals here. In this case, one rookie will be voted out, followed immediately by another tribal council where one vet will be voted. Um, we will get access to the tribal councils, and then I will walk away to fill you in on all the tea that I have heard for these rounds. So you are going to want to stay locked here because we will have a lovely, juicy time together. So filing in behind me is Sagan, and let's take a look as they file on in. So we have Maya, Jessica, MC, Kevin H, Aubrey, and Brad bringing in the Sagan tribe flag as they all file into tribal council for the first time.
All right, welcome Sagan to your first tribal council. As always, at tribal council, fire represents your life. When your fire is out, so are you. Now, a few ground rules before we start the first tribal council. I know you were already reminded, but for our stream, please try to be as loud as possible when answering, so that your friends and family at home can follow along. Second rule: there will never ever be anything hidden in the voting booth. Do not waste our time. Go in there, do your business, get back here, okay? All right, let's begin. Jessica, tell me about last night. You were in a larger group of 12. How did the bonding go? Were people already splitting off into groups, or did everyone stay together?
I think there was a little bit of both. I think definitely like bigger groups would break off at different times, but I do feel like everybody kind of really talked to everybody else. I don't feel like there was like any like divide where it seemed like certain people were like bonding super closely. Everyone just kind of seemed to be getting along and getting to know each other. We only had one night, so we didn't have a ton of time to.
Okay. Aubrey, when we made the switch from 12 to 6 here, do you feel like plans were changed, or there were never any plans in place to begin with?
I think it's just so hard. It's so hard to make plans. You're surrounded by 11 other people, and only 5 of them are going to be in the tribe. Like whatever. You can't. It's we kind of all. I mean, from what I could tell, we all kind of made the collective decision that we're going to cross that bridge when we come to it. And well, this is quite a. We're on the bridge, and I'm.
You literally just crossed the bridge to get here, so I'm excited to see the answer to that one then.
Yeah.
Okay, MC. Well, then, what does this vote come down to? I mean, what are the criteria that you're basing, your vote on?
I'm pretty sure the criteria we're basing our vote on is who we feel like is strong and who is a strong competitor.
Okay, that can mean different things to different people. What does being a strong competitor mean to you?
To me, well, the whole thing of Survivor, right, is like outwit, outlast, outhouse. So whoever can outhouse me, or
Okay.
whatever.
And you want them around.
No.
All right, the tribe is warned. Maya, I feel like I walk around, I see kind of how the discussion goes. I didn't really see this group pair off, kind of scurry like I'm used to seeing when people go to vote. I kind of saw mostly a collective group for the full time. We give you a good chunk of time. Does that signify you feeling like this might be a unified vote, or plans were already in place before? I mean, what does that kind of signify to you?
I don't think plans were in place beforehand, but I, I feel like I could have talked more, but I don't know. We all kind of just came to a consensus that we were all just gonna do what was best for us, which is really scary because I don't know what that means for everyone else. And I think I know how the vote's gonna go, but I don't know for sure. I don't know. I feel I was when we were all sitting up there just talking about like random stuff. I was like, are we really doing this? Are we all 6 just sitting here talking about like TV? Like why? Like I feel like I don't know. I'm uncomfortable.
Okay.
It's weird.
Brad, give me a sense. In that discussion, how many names were truly thrown around?
Maybe one, but I think most of it was the idea that we haven't really worked together that long, and I think to not put, not creating any long-lasting tension or anything as the tribe moves forward, is just kind of go with what you feel like in this first one, and it might be a little chaotic, but then after that, be a little bit more strategic.
Okay.
So I think everybody has an individual for themselves in mind, but I don't really think anybody was throwing names around too much.
Interesting. So, Jess, do you feel like this is going to be unanimous, or are we going to get a 1-1-1-1-1 vote or something like that?
Honestly, truly at this point, feel like it could go either way. I don't feel strongly in either direction based on the minimal conversations that were had. I feel like everybody could vote for somebody completely different, or I feel like everybody could get on the same page. It's either going to be complete chaos or unanimous.
We're going to find out a lot in a few minutes. Okay. Kevin, this game's unique, obviously, with someone potentially coming back from no man's land. Are you kind of weighing that as part of as part of your decision making, kind of figuring out, okay, this person might come back, or do we want them to come back? Things like that as part of your voting strategy.
I would say that there are so many unknowns. Like, we don't know when they're coming back. We don't know how they're coming back. We don't know who from the other tribe is going to end up there. So because there's so many unknowns, it's hard to plan for it. So is it a concern? Of course it's a concern. You don't want to vote somebody out and then have them come back and get revenge, but there's so many unknowns that it's hard to make that be the basis of the decision.
Okay. Aubrey, the other semi-unique thing about Can You Survive is you're all playing for a charity. There's kind of a little bit more beyond just, hey, I want to win this game. I want to do well for my charity. I assume, that first night there was a lot of sharing about what everyone's playing for. Is that kind of weighing on your mind at all in terms of, who or why you would vote someone out?
I mean, it's there's a lot of great causes, and specifically a lot of and they range. They run the gamut from local neighborhood organizations to national organizations, and everyone has a deep personal connection to each of those. I myself am not going to be voting based on that, because I think everyone's cause here is worthy, and I think as far as our collective cause, as far as us moving forward in the game, we want to be as unified as possible, because we got to win another challenge, and then we got to win another one. So I think the approach to it philosophically is that we want there to be as little hard feelings as possible, especially if there's like a stray vote here or there, and that we are committed to working together.
Okay. Last question, Maya. I mentioned yesterday there's idols at play. Has there been already any discussion about anything like that in terms of this group? I mean, there's only 60. An idol could be a real wrecking ball at a tribal like this.
If there's been talk, I haven't heard it, which I don't know how that makes me feel. I know half of us, or a few of us, didn't sleep at all and spent a lot of time by the bathroom last night. So we certainly weren't idol hunting, but I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
Okay. A lot of you seem really not sure about this one. Does anyone have anything final to say before we get to the vote?
Don't vote for me.
Okay. We will get to the vote. We're going to start with you, MC. We'll just funnel through here. You'll go to the gazebo and make your vote.
All right, and with that, the players are heading off to the voting booth to go vote, which means we are heading off ourselves to go have a little chat. So I'm going to be walking, So I'm going to be walking away out of earshot from the players that are voting, as well as the players that are back at Tribal Council. And I'm going to be filling you in on everything that I've heard so far. So this is your opportunity for those of you new to the stream, where I get to fill you in on everything. This is your chance to ask questions as to what's happening, and I'm going to try and give you all the dynamics and everything that I've heard. So this is like a super fun, exciting part of the game. where y'all are going to be in the know. So let me just find a little shady patch and be far enough out of earshot so we can sit and chat, because a lot of stuff happening. Very excited. All right, so I will post up here, and I have my handy dandy little notebook full of drama. So, huh? Oh, I need to be talking here, so they need to not be here, I think. Sorry. Okay, it looks like the vets are maybe standing really close to where I am. So we're gonna get them moved so that we can fill y'all in out of earshot of them. So, okay. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm about to fill you in on everything happening while the players are silently voting. And again, we'll be doing back-to-back tribal, so don't go anywhere. All right, so this is the Sagan tribe, consisting of Aubrey, Jessica, MC, Maya, Kevin H, and Brad. So, okay, let's see. A lot going on this tribe. Two names are being kind of thrown out there. First up, we have, let's see. Okay, so before any names were even thrown out, as once the players were back in their area and starting to be able to strategize with each other, apparently MC, who was our general of yesterday, pretty vocal player, stood up and was like, okay guys, here's the plan. Let's just keep the vote secret and don't talk about it and don't tell anyone who you voted for, and we'll just find out whoever voted after the game is completely over. So definitely not the way you play Survivor. I know the wind is pretty bad. Let me try and block it a little with my notebook. Yeah, so that was an interesting and arguably not the best strat, because of course, as we know, if you're a Survivor fan, when you vote, that kind of lets you know, like, hey, we're together, or like, hey, maybe we're not as together as I thought, or maybe we're just against each other on different sides. So I do not get the sense that that was the strategy that the rest of the tribe chose to employ, but like, hey, worth a shot, I guess. All right, so speaking of, let's see, MC as well, they are apparently kind of being viewed as a leader on their tribe, which I guess is maybe why they felt comfortable saying this, but, who knows. So, let's see. All right, so there was a lot of discussion about challenge strength at this tribal, but challenge strength did in fact mean different things to different people. We have, let's see, we have Jessica, who was eyeing both Aubrey and Kevin H as potential options that she had heard, and both were kind of like the challenge strength reasoning, in that they were two of the people that kind of weren't the strongest at this last challenge with the pyramid blocking. Reminder that Aubrey dropped the very first block and had to go ahead and reset, and kind of kept them behind from the jump. However, MC also had heard Aubrey and was potentially on board, but because of the opposite, because they view Aubrey as like a very well-rounded player who, if voted out and went to no man's land, could potentially be good enough in challenges to win their way back, so that maybe they're not actually losing a number in the long game. MC also worried about Aubrey from a, but then again, like, contradictory, because sorry, this is so confusing. Because MC also views Aubrey as super smart and a threat that way, because he found, I guess, 2 gravestones in yesterday's reward challenge. So like, we're kind of all over the place. I think in this first vote, anyone's just like clinging to anything that they can think about in order to justify someone else that isn't them. Let's see. Next, we go to Maya, who we heard talk about the fact that, like, no one's really talked to her. She hasn't really heard anything. And that appears to be true. I think she was wanting Kevin H out, but not entirely sure if she has the votes to do that, because she wasn't really having meaningful conversations with people. So she's, I think, just kind of looking to go with the flow on maybe Aubrey or maybe Kevin H if some votes have been whipped. We also have our first kind of little trio forming in Jessica, Brad, and Kevin H. They kind of all feel good about each other and might be, voting together this time. Again, potentially targeting Aubrey because of challenge strength. Let's see, one last note. Okay, so let's check. So now we're checking in with Aubrey. Aubrey is not having conversations with people. He's saying people were not really like coming up to him to talk, which is never a good sign. In Survivor, when people aren't talking to you, they might be talking about you. So both Aubrey and Maya kind of feeling that heat. Aubrey kind of taking a look at Maya and MC, who were not feeling well last night because of this crazy heat, and thinking maybe from a challenge strength perspective, they won't be able to perform at their usual high level. So kind of floating that around. And one last tidbit, both MC and Jess were kind of talking about idol hunting, but agreeing that they don't want to look for an idol too early on. Reminder that idols were hidden yesterday at both camps, the rookie camp and the veteran camp, so they are like live, but Jess and MC don't want to be seen as like searching around, see all that. So yeah, looks like perhaps the last player has just finished voting. Please hold, there's like a yellow jacket on my screen that I'm going to attempt to like dissuade from sticking around here. Sorry.
Okay, I'll get to the vote. First vote, Aubrey. Second vote, Kevin. Third vote, Aubrey. Fourth vote, Aubrey. Fifth vote, and the first person voted out of Can You Survive Tides of War, Aubrey. That's 4, that's enough. Please bring me your torch. Aubrey.
All right, and with that, the first player has been voted.
Okay.
And we are following Aubrey on over to this little clearing over here where we're going to get some thoughts and words with him. Aubrey, you're still on the live stream, so we just want to catch up with you over here.
Of course.
So if you want to drop your stuff and get comfortable in the shade,
All right.
this time is yours. And it's like, yeah, so any thoughts you want to share, anything on your mind?
I had a pretty good feeling that was about what was about to happen. No one was really willing to discuss anything with me, and when that's the case and people have gone off on their own for a little bit, that is usually what happens. I made my case the best I could. I still have an opportunity to come back. So would it seem, and I think if I happen to do that, I would hope that the bonds that I've formed with the other players, especially in the Rookies tribe, would be something that would carry me over. But no hard feelings. I didn't perform the way that I needed to at the most recent challenge. It was the reason we lost, and it is a fair reason to eliminate somebody.
All right, thank you so much. Well, you got to spend an entire night out here so far.
So far.
We'll be heading to No Man's Land, but you did get to experience quite a bit. So is there anything out here that maybe you're proud of about your time out here so far?
I mean, I did it. I don't think I didn't prepare maybe as well as I could have. But a lot of people in my life, they don't see me as this kind of outdoors person, this kind of competitive person. I hope that I've had my high points with this, and I hope I've made them proud. I am not embarrassed or ashamed of anything. I've done my best.
Absolutely. You definitely have no reason to be embarrassed or ashamed. All players that come out here are doing more than I could ever do, so congratulations on braving these elements. You will be heading off to No Man's Land to continue to brave them for a little longer.
All right.
Before we head out, you are playing for a very near and dear cause. Would you mind shouting them out and telling everyone who you're playing for?
I'm playing for National MS Society. It's a very important cause to me. I was diagnosed in 2020, and the future feels uncertain when you have that sort of diagnosis, and I relish in every opportunity I can to live life to its fullest. And I've been the recipient of charitable donations, and I've received help from MS charities. So it's nice to give back with this, and maybe I'll have an opportunity to get a little more.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Aubrey. I'm going to hand you off to your handler, who will be taking you on over to No Man's Land.
All right.
Congratulations on coming on out here and giving your best, and best of luck to you for the rest of this time here.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, everyone. I was not going to cut the stream, but in this case, I am going to cut the stream to try and fix the sound a little bit, and we will be back in about 2 minutes. So see you very soon for the very next Tribal Council vote out.